I don't personally think there's enough being done for players of non-league.
Hi Jerry, it's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
How's the last year or so been for you?
It's been tough, with Corona. The season got cancelled early, and I was a new player last season, and I was really trying to, get the ground running at this club. It's a big club in this league. Everyone knows in full town. So unfortunately, it got ended quickly. But I'm good to be back for pre-season now and see where it takes me.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you give us a little about your sort of background footballing wise as well?
So I'm going to go really young here. I started about when I was 8. My older brother, he played football, and I wanted to just copy him. So my mum took me to play football with my brother. Started from there really, and then Sunday league, local Sunday league team. But it wasn't really until I was about 16. That's when I got my scholarship from Yeovil Town, and that's when I started playing like proper serious football. Unfortunately, I didn't get a professional contract after I was 18. But then I went to play professionally abroad in Slovenia. So I did that for a season, and then after I came up from Slovenia, I played for a club in Sweden. Did that for a season as well, and then obviously came back here to the UK and found myself playing for Enfield Town.
That must have been quite challenging, Yeovil, like your first footballing experience. Like, can you sort of speak to us a little bit about that as well? Like, how was that sort of for you, sort of as quite a young kid, I imagine?
Yeah, it was really tough. The first 6 weeks, I did miss the first 6 weeks of games because I was too overweight. The manager said that. Yeah, it's quite funny. Yeah, I had to lose some weight before I could actually play for the team. So that was the first bit of mentally where I had to be tested. In terms of living with another family as well, getting used to living with different cultures, and even down to the food and the way I act and the way I come across, that I had to get used to that. And also the intense of training every single day. So training Monday to Friday, then the game on Saturday. It's non-stop. It's back to back. But yeah.
Absolutely. And Sweden, Slovenia, they must have been quite different environments. So how did you sort of cope with that as well?
Slovenia was probably the toughest I've ever been. It's Eastern Europe, and the language barrier was tough. I had to learn a bit of the language, and even there, that was my first proper taste of men's football, first team football. Youth team football, I was playing every single week. I didn't have no competition. But when I stepped in Slovenia, it took me 3 months to make my professional debut. So that took a toll, but eventually I got going.
Yeah, were there any strategies to deal with? Because I imagine, for example, communication must have been quite an issue out there, and obviously coping with different environments. Were there any strategies that you had out there that you were able to use, or?
I'll say talking to my friends and family every single day. My agent at the time, talking to them, asking for advice. My older brother as well. They helped me a lot when I was out there. Yeah.
And I suppose that leads us nicely into your organisation taking on the Mind. So you set that up earlier this year. Was there anything in particular that sort of inspired that, or has that been sort of in the pipeline for a long time?
Do you know what? It's been in the pipeline for a while. It's been in the back of my head, but I've been, nervous to start, a bit scared. I didn't know if people would take to it. So yeah, I think it was about February times, and the season just got cancelled. And one of my mates messaged me, and he was going through a bit of a difficult time because he didn't know what to do, asking for advice. So I thought to myself, if my mate's feeling like this, I wonder how many other footballers and other young people are feeling like this as well. So I just went on Twitter, just made an account and just put it out there, and thankfully it's taken a good response.
Definitely. And so on the webpage there are a number of interviews with players as well who've detailed their own experiences. How important do you feel that is, sort of not just, I suppose, sort of having discussions around mental health, but having sort of interviews with players who have gone through those sorts of stories?
Yeah, it's really good. That was the main thing I really wanted to do, was get professional footballers from different levels. I've got players who have played in Premier League clubs, and I've got players who have played step 4, step 5 football, and I think when they talk, football being a boisterous men's sport, or not only for men, obviously women do play as well, but as in the culture of football is like you have to be a man, you have to be strong, and I feel like the professional footballers who I interviewed, when they're speaking about what they went through, I feel like other people be inspired, because if somebody who's gone through the same path as me has gone through that, I should feel comfortable to speak about my mental problems, and that's the message that I wanted to get across.
Yeah, and of course, especially at non-league, there's it's a very different environment. It's a very challenging environment.
Yeah.
Do you feel enough is being done at this level? And if not, or if so, sort of what kind of strategies do you feel are sort of best equipped for non-league for players?
Yeah, I don't personally think there's enough being done for players of non-league. I mean, it's just about getting spoken about in the higher levels, which is good. However, you know, football runs from, as I said, Premier League all the way down to, you know, grassroots Sunday league football. And I feel like, you know, strategies that could be done in terms of helping players is possibly bringing, you know, psychologists into clubs, mentors into the clubs, you know, that kind of things, because that is happening at the higher clubs. Yes, they do have the money for that, but, you know, I still feel like some non-league clubs can start to integrate that into their clubs as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you recently joined up with the Gyebi consultancy as well. So, sort of, what do they do as well, and you know, how do you feel that that's helping?
They reached out to me, you know, seeing my work, and they were really impressed. So they have a few ambassadors. So I think probably their biggest ambassador is a player who plays for Blackburn in the Championship. And what it is really is just mentoring players and helping players across all levels of football. And also with the campaign that I'm doing, you know, we're teaming up together and just trying to get it all out there, to be honest, you know, trying to show people that our message in terms of, you know, breaking the stigma, breaking the silence, you know, you're not alone, and just that, them sort of things really.
Absolutely. Jerry, thank you so much and all the best for this season.
Thank you very much, thank you.